Okay, hey guys, this is Tepco Cycle Repair, and what we're dealing with today is a problem that I've seen a lot in older bikes or bikes that have been sitting for a long time, or bikes where the fluid has never been changed in the front brake master cylinder. So what we're working on today, this is a 2001 KTM 200. This is my personal bike, and I got it used, and this fluid in here has probably never been changed. And what happens is when you're riding the bike, the front brake lever gets really stiff, and your brakes start to apply on their own when you're not applying them yourselves. And it's a real simple problem. And like I said, on older bikes or some bikes have been sitting for a long time. I see it a lot in. So the repair sometimes people will just go buy new master cylinders, and it's a really simple repair. So I'm going to go over what it takes to do it, what parts you're going to need, and we'll get started here. This here is a Brembo front brake master cylinder. Okay, this is off of my bike. So what I was doing was I was riding the bike in the trails and noticed that the front brakes front wheel started to get tight. Front brakes were being applied, so I knew exactly what the problem was because I've done it a bunch of other times. So there's two holes at the bottom of the master cylinder. All right, and if you look inside here, there's a little blue plastic piece that's covering the two holes. You're going to have one big hole for your fluid to flow through to the lines, and you have a little tiny hole that's the return hole. And that's going to be the problem in this case. Now this one here, I've already cleaned it out, so I'm just going to show it to you. This little piece in here, it's held in by a metal clip, so you just got to get beneath it and just kind of gently work it, and it'll come right out. Okay. Just going to dump that out right there. Now I want you to look down in there, and if you look really closely, you'll be able to see the two different holes. There's the one big hole there, and then the little hole that's next to it. That little hole, it looks bigger than it is. At the center of that hole is a little tiny pinhole. So what I use for that, and if you guys watch any of my videos, I've referred to this a brick brush bristle, and this is what I'm talking about. It's a brush like this here, and you can buy it at any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, or anything like that. It's for scraping off paint off of bricks. So there's plenty of bristles on here, and basically what you do is just cut one of them off. All right, so I have one of them right here in my hand. They work great for cleaning carburetors out. It's smaller than any of the tips that you can find in a cleaning kit. Some people buy them for welder tips and stuff. This is a lot smaller. It's important because a lot of jets have very small holes. So what you're going to do is get inside here. You're going to clean that hole out that's all the way down at the bottom of it. Now the first thing you're going to do is we're going to take the lever off, because you want to get inside there and make sure that everything is clean inside. There's a metal spring that's inside there that returns it. Okay, to return its position, there's a spring inside there. So that spring, sometime if there's moisture in there, it'll rust, and the rust is what's clogging the hole. Also, if you have water inside the master cylinder reservoir, you run into the problem of some of the aluminum in there corroding. That's, in some of the older bikes, it'll corrode, and if it corrodes, you'll have a problem with the aluminum corrosion getting inside the hole. So, this brake fluid is very easy to change out. A lot of people get nervous about it because they don't want to get air in the system, but it's really pretty simple to change out. You can just open up the. Usually, what I do is I put a hole on the bleeder at the caliper. I make the hose kind of bend up a little bit and then back down again, so that there's fluid in there. Put fluid in your reservoir up top and just slowly pump it through, and making sure that on the hose it doesn't go back in. You don't have to do the pump and release and pump it up, build up pressure, release. You don't have to do that if you're changing it out. You just flush it all the way through, and then when you're done, I just squeeze the lever in, clamp that bleeder tight again, and you're done. So it's pretty easy. So let me get this out right here. There's a little spring right here. Make sure you don't lose that spring. Okay, so that's that spring right there. It just kind of sits in that hole. Just gonna move that out of the way, the lever out of the way. So now we have this part right here. So this part right here has got a little grommet. Now this rubber piece right here has got a rip in it. So we're gonna take that out. I need to replace that anyway. And this has again, it's just kind of pressed in there. So you take the plunger out here. Okay, and that just pulls out of there. Just gonna take that out. And then for this piece here, it's kind of just pressed in there. So I'm going to go from the inside, the screwdriver, this way you don't rip anything. And I'm just going to give it a little pry, and it comes out like that. Alright, so now you can see in there we have the little clip that we have to take out. Alright, so that clip, I had a set of pliers that I just kind of ground down, cheap pliers. I just ground down just for this purpose. You got to grab the two little circles right there. And just squeeze it together and pull it out. And the kit comes with a new one, so just put that aside. And then there's your plunger in there, and that's kind of what gets worn out after time. And what happened was, after I cleaned this all out and put it back together again, I couldn't build up any brake pressure in it, so that's just telling me that this thing is worn out. So we're going to pull that out right there. And this is what's coming out. And this is the spring. This is the spring right here that... sorry, trying to keep it in picture here for you. But this is the spring right here that gets rusted. And this was rusted on the end of it, and I cleaned it all out, but it's bad. These little rubber seals on here, you see some debris in there. You know, it kind of gets dirty. So what I'm going to do inside that hole right there, I'm going to spray some cleaner in there. Make sure that's all cleaned out. Like I said, I've already cleaned it, but the rubber grommets on there, I guess were, when I put it back together, were kind of coming apart. So just going to clean that out. Make sure you dry it out real good. I use Q-tips a lot just for making sure I get in there, and so I'm going to get in there and just clean them out and make sure that it's good and clean. Make sure if you got anything down in there, get it cleaned out. Okay, like I said, I've cleaned this one out already, so it's ready to go. Now I got a new rebuild kit from KTM, and this is the KTM, and there it is right there. If that helps you with the part number, 503-1300-8300. And this fits the 2001 KTM 200 and the 125 as well. So I'm going to open up this package here, and I'll show you what comes in the pack. An instruction manual comes with all the Brembo stuff. Alright, so here's the pack here. It has because it fits multiple bikes, there's different springs. So this has 2 springs in here. We only need the spring that's like the one I took out. So let's get this package opened up. Alright, so this spring right here I don't need. This is for a different master. I'm going to need this one right here. And it's got a new clip in it. It's got a new rubber grommet, so I'm going to use all that stuff, put it together. And here's the new piston here for the cylinder. It goes together really easy. I'm going to take a little bit of brake fluid. I'm using some Galfer here. Biggest problem with brake fluid, guys, you want to make sure after you open it, you use it, and then just kind of buy as much as you need, because it attracts water and it'll build up moisture on it. So I'm just going to take a little bit and put it on these O-rings here to make sure that they're working good. They're lubricated a little bit for when I slide it in. We're going to take the new spring. The new spring just pushes on the end right here. I'll just twist it a little bit counterclockwise to help it get on. Take the new master cylinder. I'm going to drop it in there with the spring. Gently push that back in, so that's good and set right there. We're going to put our brand new clip in there. That's the new spring in there. I got to push that cylinder down in the center so that you can get the clip on. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and grab the that clip with the tool. Make sure you get it all the way down into the groove. Alright, so we got the new clip in there. All the way down into the groove. Alright, then we have our new rubber grommet right here that we're going to stick in there, so it'll keep everything nice and clean. I like to take a little bit of grease around seals whenever I put them in. It just helps them slide in easy. I always use Super Lube synthetic grease. This is stuff that I use about on all assembly, a lot of assembly stuff. So I'm going to put a little bit on here. Just push it back down in there. Goes in nice and easy. That's in. So I have the new, this piece right here. This is not new, this is the old one. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the grease on there as well so that it slides nice inside there. And that has a rubber grommet. That rubber grommet goes on to that little ring right there, so it keeps it all sealed up. So make sure you get on that. Alright, and basically I just push it down in there and it just pops on. There we go. Alright, then I'm going to put the little blue plastic piece back in there. Just got to get it in there nice and evenly. If you get it nice and even, it'll go right in. Just trying to get it set on there. It's got a little metal ring that compresses around it, a little clip. Kind of like a circlip on a piston, same as that. So get it in there nice and even, and then just push it down. That's in. Okay, so that's back together right there. And now, whenever you do these, if you just take the master off and redo it, what you want to do is fill this with brake fluid, kind of bench bleed it. Just put brake fluid on it and work your lever a couple times. Put your thumb over the hole, where the banjo fitting mounts on. Okay, so what you do is put your finger over the hole right here, pump it up, and then just slide your finger off and release the air out of it. Pump it up, release it, just kind of squeeze it in and keep letting the air, get all the air bled out of this. So then when you mount it back on the bike, you can put the banjo bolt and your brake line back onto it, and then just pump your brake up and then crack the banjo bolt right here, and it'll let your air and stuff out that way. You don't have to bleed your whole system. So that's the easy way of doing it after you've taken it all apart. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this back up with fluid right here. Put the cap back on it. Bench bleed it like I just told you. Put it back on the bike, and we'll be back in action here. So till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.